Former US President Barack Obama once said, "We are the first generation to feel the effect of climate change and the last generation who can do something about it." Climate change, defined by the United Nations as long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns, is a threat to the human species and to the entire planet. Climate change can be natural, such as that caused by large volcanic eruptions, but humans have been the main driver of rising temperatures since the 1800s. With the burning of fossil fuels, oil, and gas, greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane are released. These wrap around Earth and trap in the sun's heat. While the effects of climate change have already begun to take place, it isn't too late to mitigate the damage if we start soon. While I've already given the United Nations definition of climate change, there is far more that needs to be understood about the issue. For starters, the understanding that humans are responsible for nearly all of the global heating Earth is experiencing today. The planet's average temperature has increased by about 1.37 degrees Celsius, or 2.74 degrees Fahrenheit, since the late 1800s, and each of the last 4 decades has been warmer than any previous decade since the 1850s. To understand how to fix the issue, we must also understand what's causing it. As previously mentioned, the burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gases all release greenhouse gases that trap the sun's heat and increase global temperatures. While the 6 largest greenhouse gas emitters, China, the United States, India, the European Union, the Russian Federation, and Indonesia, emit more than half of global carbon, they aren't the only areas facing the repercussions. In fact, people living in island nations and developing countries are more vulnerable to the effects of climate change. Sea level rises and saltwater intrusion are already forcing people out of their homes, and droughts are leading to famine worldwide. With the basics out of the way, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the actual mechanics behind climate change. Earth's temperature depends on the amount of the sun's energy, in the form of heat, that enters and exits the atmosphere. When sunlight hits the Earth, it can be absorbed or reflected away. Absorbed light heats the planet, while reflected sunlight has no heating effect whatsoever. Additionally, once sunlight is absorbed, the Earth's surface emits some infrared radiation in the form of heat. Certain gases, known as greenhouse gases, absorb that energy though, preventing the loss of heat from Earth's atmosphere. They act kind of like a blanket covering the Earth and trapping heat. While this is essential to life on Earth, a buildup of those greenhouse gases has led to Earth becoming too hot. CO2 is the primary greenhouse gas that humans emit, and it is caused by the burning of biological materials, whether it be fossil fuels or wood or anything in between. Also among human-emitted greenhouse gases are methane, nitrous oxide, and F-gases. Methane is released by fossil fuels, livestock, and landfills. Nitrous oxide is released from agricultural fertilizers, and F-gases are emitted by refrigerants, air conditioners, and industrial processes. Aerosols are tiny particles that stay suspended in the air for a very long time, and burning fossil fuels and biomass release them into the atmosphere. While these aerosols are an issue, some aerosols actually reflect sunlight, while others do absorb it. Aerosols from volcanoes and sulfur from coal both reflect light, while soot/black carbon have a warming effect. Black carbon can also absorb infrared radiation that would otherwise have been released and land on snow, increasing the snow's melting speed. While there are undoubtedly some people who don't believe in the effects of climate change, there is irrefutable evidence that it is real and that it is causing problems for the world. For one, pre-industrial levels of atmospheric carbon were below 300 parts per million. Today, it's at 420 parts per million. Additionally, the Earth's average temperature has increased by about 1.37 degrees Celsius, with the last 7 years being the warmest on record. Additionally, the ocean is getting warmer as it stores 90% of the Earth's extra energy. This is also causing ice sheets to melt, with Greenland losing 279 billion tons of ice annually, and Antarctica losing 148 billion tons of ice annually. Though not the final piece of evidence, the final piece I will discuss in this video is that the oceans are becoming far more acidic. Their acidity has gone up by 3% since the Industrial Revolution, and oceans absorb 7.2 to 10.8 billion metric tons of carbon per year, which is what ups their acidity. Like I mentioned earlier, the effects of climate change are and will be felt across the world. For example, the changes in global precipitation and temperatures will lead to a less predictable growing season and make it harder to grow livestock. There was already a clear example of this when in the US in 2022, a heat wave in Kansas killed thousands of cows. Droughts will also last longer, shrinking agricultural harvests and leaving some people without water, particularly in developing countries. Air quality, insect-borne disease, and storms threaten human life globally as an effect of climate change. Though some people claim that fixing climate change will cost too much and we'd be better off to leave it as it is predicted that the effects of climate change will cost the U.S. $500 billion per year by the end of the century. These aren't all the effects of climate change. They are all the ones that I had time to mention in this video. Chances are that I'll compile a full list and discuss it in a later video on this channel. Hopefully this video has helped you understand climate change a little deeper and understand why we must take steps to prevent it. If this video has helped you at all, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, or sharing the video to help me educate more people on climate change. Though the effects are already being felt, it isn't too late for us. If people start taking action and steps towards prevention, we can save Earth. Please consider beginning to take these steps, if not for you, for Earth, and for all the people who call it home.